Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it so very much. Welcome, my name is Aiden. I am so happy that you're here for my penultimate chopping block 4for4. I can't believe that we are almost to the end of this journey. That started like 2 years ago. I don't even know. Like, it started so long ago. I've worn all of the palettes that were on my original chopping block, all of the ones that were on my second chopping block, and now we are almost done with the 4for4s on them. I have 4 palettes left in my collection that are still on the chopping block that made it past the initial one and now have the 4for4. So that was going to be, I'm going to wait a little bit on that because I don't have one of the palettes with me. So I'm going to take a little break from 4for4s. You will still see them, but I'm going to take a couple weeks break from them so that I can just like play with makeup instead of like wearing the same palette and trying to test and review, because that gets a little boring sometimes. Anyway, today I have 4 different palettes that I'm talking about. I have 2 from Kat Von D. These are the shade and light. Sorry, it says Kat Von D, but now it's KVD. I don't even know if they sell these. I know they have a different one that's not this one. But anyway, I have the Rust one and I have the Sage one. So you can see on the back they have different, but they look the same on packaging. Then I have this one from Lancome. This is the Starlight Sparkle Eyeshadow Palette in Glow. And I got this in like one of their giant holiday sets because I love those sets and I buy them and then I never wear the eyeshadow palettes. And then I also have the Sassy Siennas from Dose of Colors. If you haven't already subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoy it. Share it with your friends because these never get any views. And I would love to have more people watch these and hopefully get inspired to actually use their products and decide if they're ones that they like or if they just got them because they came in a subscription box or they were an add-on in a subscription box and you thought, ooh, good idea. Or they were a good deal at, Ross or TJ Maxx, which is like these. Or if you actually genuinely enjoy them and you should wear them more. Also, don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've tried any of these. And if you want to see something specific in a 4for4 upcoming or want me to change it up, let me know. All right, Sassy Siennas. We're going to start with this one from Dose of Colors. So these are 5 pans. I long ago got rid of the brushes. I gave them to a friend. So you do get 5 matte shades in here. The newer palettes have, some of them have shimmers in them, which I would probably enjoy much more than if they were just all matte. Let me swatch it, talk about it, and I'll get back to you. All right, so here is what the 5 shades look like. Swatch, they are pretty rich. They do have a lot of pigment to them. It is a little difficult to go in lightly with them because they still are going to be packing quite a punch with them, which is something that I struggled with because I was like, no matter what I did with this, it seemed like it was too dark and I would try to blend it and then it would turn like muddy. I mean, they already are kind of brown shades, but I really struggled with this palette creating looks that I felt comfortable in, that I felt like I liked. And the last time I used it, which was yesterday, I did try to combine some other palettes so that I had like a highlighter kind of, under the brow bone or like a shimmer from another palette. And I still I didn't enjoy the look any day that I tried it, which is sad because I felt like I had enjoyed it when I used it on initial application for the chopping block, but for me this was just not a good palette, not the color story that I enjoy. Now the shadows, like I said, they have a huge punch, so if you want like a lighter look or a blown out look, this is not really the type of palette for that. This is going to be, and it could be, could be an experience, but I struggled with this to create a look and it did last. Like once those shadows were on, they were on. I was like trying to because I got a little over here and I was like struggling a whole lot with this one. So this is definitely one that is going to be passed along. And I think there's certain people that this would be good for. And I think if you have a deeper skin tone, it probably works a lot better, but it just felt so out there for me that it didn't work for me. So yeah, that is Sassy Siennas by Dose of Colors. All right, the second palette today is the Lancome palette. It is the Starlight Sparkle Eyeshadow Palette in Glow. There are 8 shadows in this palette, so that is what they all look like. So you have some beautiful jewel tone shadows. You have a couple really pretty light neutrals in here. These are like the softest shadows. They are so soft. really easy to dig too much into, which is one thing that I found as I was swatching them. Like I had a whole bunch of fallout over here on these. I went in a little lighter on the second row, but as you can see, like they are pretty light. You can kind of see that gold a little bit. You can kind of see a little bit of that lightest shade there and the brown, like this tan shade. I liked the two mattes. Like this one and this one worked really well, and I liked how they went on and I liked how they looked. I struggled with the rest of them. I felt like the shimmers were just so soft, they just kind of faded away, and it was hard to get them to have an impact. While I was putting them on, I was disappointed in the quality of these shadows, and I don't know if regular Lancome shadows that are not part of like their gift sets are better or not, because I know they do a lot of single shadows, but this was a disappointing palette to me. I don't think it was super great. Somebody might like it if you want something really soft. Like this is the exact opposite of the Sassy Siennas. It's just really hard to get a look built up, and then it did kind of fade throughout the day, which was disappointing. But I liked the mattes. Like if I don't want to keep this just for those two mattes, but if those were singles, I would have kept those and like gotten rid of the rest. Okay, let's do the first of the two Kat Von D palettes. So Shade and Light, KVD, sorry, Force of Habit. I think it's so weird, like the whole thing, that how it went down and what they've been trying to do to rebrand. I just don't think it's working. So we have Shade and Light, and this is the Sage palette. So you have 4 shades in each of these. So you have, you know, like a larger pan, and then you have 3 small pans. This one is green. I know it wasn't showing up too green just back there, but it is a dark green. So it says it's base, define, contour, and highlight. So base, define, highlight, or contour and highlight. Kind of gives you a way to go through with the shadows. This is what they look like swatched. As you can see, they like peter out throughout that swatch. They weren't as consistent as the Dose of Colors ones were, but there are some nice shadows in here. This is honestly my favorite, that kind of tannish brown. These two I don't much like because I'm not a cool toned person. I like darker, like not darker, I like warmer toned shades. That's just what I feel most comfortable in. And then this one, I mean, it's just a basic shadow. So that's what they look like. I did not enjoy the looks that I made with this because I was trying to use all 4 shadows most of the time when I was doing looks. And I mean, you can barely see that white even up close. I did try to use like a shimmer shadow with this. I had a liquid shimmer shadow and it was okay. I think if I can remember, I'll link like a video so you can see the eye look that I created, because I'm pretty sure I've been wearing these on Saturdays and Sundays, which are my filming days. So it's been interesting. I like it, but it's not one that I need. I think they work well. You know, not as good as Dose of Colors, but they were a pretty good formula. And I like that they are aiming towards being something user-friendly. It's just the color story for me was a no. And they lasted pretty well, I will say that for them. But yeah, this is also one that I'm not excited about and I'm not going to keep. All right, the last palette is the KVD Kat Von D Shade and Light in the shade Rust. So once again, you have 4 shadows in here. You have the base, define, contour, and highlight. It's hard to read because they're upside down. And I like the color story in this one so much more. I felt like I liked the looks that I created with this. I could do all matte, even though that's not like ideal. I mean, even today, I popped on blue shimmer because I'm not a big blue person, but I wanted like that pop. I like that shimmer. I'm a raccoon. What can I say? So that is what they look like. This one blended much better. I feel like just the color story for this one personally was the best of all of the shadows so far. And this is one that I am going to be keeping. I feel like this one and the other Shade and Light had, you know, they performed more similarly. I feel like this is a more coherent palette though. Like the shadows blended together better. Like there wasn't as a stark of contrast as with the Sage one. So this one was definitely a winner not a winner, but one that I'm going to keep and try to get some use out of. All right, since I think we already know what my number 1 pick is, I'm going to start from number 1 and go down to number 4, which is different than normal, but that is the Shade and Light palette in Rust. The palette, the only one that I'm planning to keep out of these 4, the only one that I can see myself using and that I felt comfortable and confident in as I was wearing the shadows. In second place, I'm going to put the Dose of Colors Sassy Siennas, not because I loved it, but I felt like quality-wise, this was the next quality palette, and I feel like Dose of Colors does have some good shadows. I just don't love their color stories, and I know they're monochromatic, but I want more gradation. Like these 3 all look kind of similar on the lid, and these 2 are very similar too. I don't know. I don't love it, and I wish it had a shimmer palette or shimmer shade in it. So that's in second place because I think it's good. It's not for me. So it's being decluttered. In third place, I am putting the KVD Kat Von D Shade and Light in Sage because I just don't like the color story. The shadows worked fine. I just didn't like the colors that they chose. They're definitely not colors for me. And I was really disappointed. Like I really wanted to like this one and I couldn't get on board with it. I just didn't feel comfortable and I felt self-conscious wearing the shadows. So it's going to be decluttered as well. Which means in fourth place, I am putting the Lancome palette. I know. I liked 2 of the shades. I liked the 2 matte shades a lot. The other shades are pretty, but I just did not get enough color payoff from them and they didn't last throughout the day. I just didn't get enough color from them and they didn't last throughout the day. So I felt annoyed with this palette. I guess that's the best word for it. I just felt disappointed. I felt disappointed with this palette. So it is definitely one that I'm also decluttering. I can't believe I'm decluttering 3 out of 4. Feels pretty good. Well, kind of. I think about the money and then I feel like, ugh. Anyway, let me know if you would have kept any of the palettes that I did not, what your thoughts and opinions are. Leave those down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.